When you become unattainable, this happens, break something at the start. You're taught to be approachable, smile when you don't want to, respond when you shouldn't, and justify yourself when no one asks. You've been conditioned to be conformable, moldable, and predictable. And worst of all, to accept it. But how has accessibility helped you? Did it calm you? Has it empowered you? It has made you an emotional puppet, reacting to every gesture, word, and hint. People read you and push harder when they see you jump with every push. Because yes, the world has button-pressing experts, but only if the buttons are accessible. This is where the poorly understood concept comes in. Being inaccessible as a sign of dominance, self-control, and inner power, not escape. Building walls to not feel is not the point. Learning not to react, because every reaction exposes you. Every time you explode, justify yourself, or rush to explain, you lose power. Silence is strategy, not coldness. Mystery is magnetism, not indifference. People can dominate a room without speaking. They've learned not to be open books, not because they shout louder. They don't bare their interior for attention. They don't rush to explain, justify, or please because they know something others don't. The less you give, the more they ask. People are addicted to uncontrollable things. What's mysterious escapes and defies judgment. Unreachable people intrigue because they don't bend and can let go. Here comes another crucial point. Release is liberation, not loss. Leave that toxic relationship, job, or commitment. Stop needing to know everything. Be right and be validated. Holding on makes you more dependent. Personal power versus dependence. You can't be unreachable if you need approval or praise. Eliminating explanations helps you let go. Don't justify your choices. Protecting your peace doesn't require explanation. You don't need to prove your goodness, this is true. The people who judge you already know about you and want confirmation, not data. Ignore their stories and let time speak. In a shouting world, silence is power. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, the invisible becomes powerful. Not being everywhere, but being unmistakable when you are is presence. Only by not reacting can you achieve that. Many mistake being unreachable for being cold if you don't emotionally commit to every word, gesture, and expectation. Not coldness, but emotional maturity. An environment-driven person reacts to everything. Choose when and how to respond to rule your life. This is sovereignty, not isolation. Self-control is choice, not repression. Choosing to ignore provocations, messages that don't deserve your attention, and withdrawing before you become the villain in a story that wasn't yours. Not explaining when it won't change anything. Sometimes doing nothing is the most powerful act. Being unreachable changes things. Former manipulators are confused. Your frustrated customers can no longer vent. Your absence surprises those who expected you to beg, and you move forward quietly. Not having to respond, clarify, or prove anything brings indescribable peace. You must endure a brutal process to get there. Detachment. You must stop seeking understanding, love, and acceptance. As long as you beg for love, you'll be reachable. Reachability makes you vulnerable to others' games. Boundaries matter. Unshouted, unnegotiated, unpublished boundaries. Living boundaries that are respected because you respect them first. Living with clear boundaries is noticed. You may lose some. They were liberations, not losses. Learning to let go means not carrying others' stuff. Not everyone can be saved. Don't be emotional support for those who won't change. You can't always comfort those who use you as an emotional garbage can. Energy selection should be brutal because it's finite. And every time you waste it on unappreciative people, you shrink to fit in places you shouldn't. Mystery, silence, calm aren't flaws. Virtues of those who no longer shout to be heard. Those who live for peace, not fame. Peace is so magnetic that those who see it want it, but they don't know it's unbuyable, fakeable, or stolen. Building it requires painful choices, letting go of what doesn't work and prioritizing yourself. Remember this: when someone provokes you, power is declared by not responding. Win by not playing. Energy is saved by not explaining. Your sword is silence. Your shield is self-control. The world views you differently when you choose to become unreachable, not because you're running away. Someone who doesn't sell themselves is worth more. Respect goes to those who don't please. The silent person controls the conversation. That easy. Very brutal. Unreachability persists. It's prominent when you decide. It keeps feeling, knowing what's worth feeling. It's not indifference, having priorities. You realize you've always had power when you realize that. You had to stop giving it away. Are you going to keep reacting to everything and letting the world define you? Are you going to choose what reaches, touches, and defines you? It may not seem like it, but that choice changes everything. You do it silently, without explaining or asking permission. Being unreachable is self-love. This tells the world that you can access me only if I allow it. Dear friend, that permission is sacred. Guard it. Guard it. If someone crosses boundaries without permission, respond with silence. Not because you hate, but because it no longer affects you. This is the real win. Untouchable not because you're arrogant or cold, but because you're in charge. That's priceless. Getting this far means something inside you has started to awaken. Quiet discomfort. Feeling something must change. Though uncomfortable, that's good. Because it means you're done reacting to everything, pleasing others, and being understood. It's time to discuss something subtle but crucial to the main idea. Controlling yourself radiates energy. Even when you're silent, others see more than you think. How you occupy your space, manage your time, and project confidence is as important as what you say. The psychology behind this is clear. Even unconsciously, humans notice when someone needs constant attention or validation. The need is obvious and makes you vulnerable. Being unreachable means paying attention to your emotional relationships. Not being available 24/7 is out of self-respect, not selfishness. Not everyone needs your thoughts, plans, or deepest emotions. Selectivity is about self-defense, not isolation. Share too much with too many people and lose value. When everyone can see you, you lose your uniqueness. Developing emotional distance is a sign of maturity. It means saying no calmly, taking time without guilt, and being alone without anxiety. Because being alone and lonely are very different. The first is optional. The second is emotional dependence. Being clear about your time and energy partners is crucial. Different people deserve different access to your life. Not everyone can handle your vulnerability. So protect your inner space as self-care, not as a barrier. This is another key idea. Silence can be more powerful than words. Not reacting as others expect, not engaging in unnecessary discussions, responding calmly or remaining silent creates a sense of security that commands respect. People often seek a reaction to destabilize you, but if they don't find one, they lose control. Self-control stops. Many avoid confronting this point. Your character may become a burden as you play it to fit in, feel accepted, and avoid conflict. It may have served you, but keeping it, if it no longer represents you, takes you further from your essence. Does authenticity cost, but hiding your true self costs more? That emotional wear is silent but constant. Leaving that character and being yourself is hard. Sometimes people withdraw. However, they were fake bonds based on an artificial you. What's left is more valuable. Acceptance without filters, genuine relationships, and peace without external approval. We feel internal coherence. It shows in your speech, actions, and presence. That makes you strong and gives you a solid presence without imposing. The energy you save by not reacting impulsively can be invested in yourself, in improving, growing, and creating something that speaks for you without explanation. Because whenever you withdraw in time or avoid things that don't matter, you strengthen your identity. And it shows, it's perceived and respected. After understanding and feeling it, ask yourself this. What will you give up to become a calm, confident person who doesn't need to react to everything? Instead of closing your heart, being unreachable opens your eyes, not escaping the world, but getting closer to yourself. Inner connection and emotional clarity are worth more than external validation. Now that you've shown that becoming unreachable is self-respect, we must discuss something equally important, but rarely discussed. Difference between self-control and self-repression. Because it's not about fearing silence, not to avoid conflict out of cowardice. Choosing when to act, speak, and most importantly, not act is key. Fear causes repression. From clarity comes self-control. Repression poisons you internally. Controlling yourself strengthens you internally. That distinction alters everything. Think about it. Resentment builds up when someone stays silent out of fear. Quiet people strategically gain power. Here comes a new dimension. Underexplored but transformative. Active waiting. Do you know one of the most powerful traits of unattainable people? That they don't rush to correct, avenge, or clarify. Because they know time is an ally when used wisely. Active patience isn't inaction. It calculates. It's knowing not to rush because impulses rarely last. Imprudent people act now and regret later. The patient one watches today and acts when needed. That distinguishes reactors from directors. But patience is hard. Trust is needed. In yourself, your process, and the fact that you don't need to prove anything to be valuable. It requires silence when your ego screams to speak. Being comfortable with uncertainty when your body wants answers quickly is difficult. Your emotional strength comes from that silent inner battle. Let's move on to another perfect idea. Personal value management. You determine your worth. It's not abstract self-esteem, but something more concrete. How you manage time, emotions, and energy. You devalue yourself when someone gets your attention without merit. When someone has complete access to you through proximity or persistence, you give more than you receive. Personal value is shown, not said. It's shown with boundaries. You show it by what you tolerate, with what you ignore. Even if it hurts, let go. Especially when it hurt. Further investigation reveals another idea that deserves its own space. A distinction between presence and availability. Being present is knowing. It's joining a conversation or room without asking for attention. It affects without effort. Availability is different, always being present, responding, and giving. When you confuse presence with availability, you empty yourself. Because the always available loses value, and the conscious present is remembered. Interestingly, many people fear losing connections if they're unavailable. Fear turns them into emotional slaves, but they don't realize it. Fear of loss enslaves you to what you no longer need. This is another valuable territory. Emotional honor. Pride is not dignity, not cold, not indifference. It's knowing your worth and not settling. It doesn't require explanation, not asking for answers from people who won't give them. It's accepting that others won't get you, because you're not here to prove yourself. Living it is your purpose. Living it means having people who see it without you having to prove it, who honor silence, who don't assume or demand. People who know silence is a message, not punishment. Don't read the rest if you can't read that message. Let's discuss something painful but liberating. Conscious rejection. Learning to reject unsuitable things, despite appearing as an opportunity, even if it arrives when you want it most. Not all shiny things fit your path. Sometimes true self-control means turning down a good offer because you deserve better. Here, being unreachable takes on new meaning. Not that others can't have you. You decide who to let in, with logic that prioritizes emotional stability, peace, and process. Being unreachable means being immune to your past hurts. It's knowing your value doesn't change with who stays or leaves. Being content with losing what no longer serves you. It's calmly observing your disturbance. Feeling what broke you calmly. It's choosing yourself repeatedly without drama, noise, or spectacle. When you arrive, something changes. Both you and the environment. You no longer attract weak-minded people. No more seduction from lack. No more wound connection. Because your energy stopped begging. Firm now, it's steady, it's enough. That changes everything. Are you feeling it? Then continue. Because freedom follows unreachability. Just when you think there are no more layers, the subtlest one appears. The strongest, very few reach, feeling whole without needing anyone to understand you. That is self-control's final frontier. Choosing your words and accepting that you don't need to be understood to be valuable. The world seeks explanations, labels, and definitions. You're not a manual. Living yourself is your purpose. A well-managed mystery. To exist without justification. Pay close attention, not arrogant. It's depth. After digging deep within, you can no longer accept superficial relationships or empty validations. Your experience is too much to keep lowering yourself to fit in. You felt too much to act light. Why is this journey's end not a destination? New walking style. A way where you set your own pace without being pushed. A way where you choose your path instead of being dragged. A way in which you no longer seek attention because you know those who matter will notice you even in silence. If you still doubt, falter, or react more than you want, don't punish yourself. Part of the process. Becoming unreachable takes time, daily practice, falling without losing, knowing it's hard, but choosing to move forward. I have a suggestion before you leave. Put this phrase in comments: my silence isn't absence, dominion. Want to read it? How many are willing to live from that power, that non-negotiable calmness? Subscribe if this video made you think about that part of you that no longer wants to react to the world. We talk about what's unsaid, what's felt deeply, and what they don't explain but changes everything. Saying goodbye. Not like everyone else, without a goodbye number. My goodbye is a heavy silence that leaves space for you. Because the video continues. No one can reach your beginning. I vanish.